you were struggling with homosexuality, I guess bisexuality.
Yeah.
You're married now though,
Yes.
to a woman.
Yes.
So you got really free from that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You have 4
man.
kids.
Yeah. It was hard, man. It was hard because I tell the church, we have a lot of people that come to us for deliverance from homosexuality. We
Really?
have a lot of people that reach out to us. We're mentoring several. It is hard to get people. God has caused people to be attracted to our ministry that have perversion for whatever reason because of what I've been through.
Yeah, because you're a trophy of grace in that area.
Right. And I think a lot of people that don't understand the process of being set free, unless you really struggle with it, it's hard to understand. It's different than, it's not that God's power is just as strong. It's that the flesh that you're dealing with. So first of all, you got to get delivered from the demon, right? There's a demonic spirit behind it. There's lust, and I'll talk about it, lust, there's perversion, there's unclean spirits. They're different, right? Perversion is stronger than lust. The spirit of perversion is actually a strong man. Perversion is way deeper than lust.
All right, hold up. We got to break this down, bro. This is really important stuff. First of all, people need to understand this is a really important conversation because, number one, if you were to look at a chart of generation to generation from like boomer generation, Gen X, millennial, Gen Z, Gen Alpha is the most recent generation, and you were to see the trajectory by which people from that generation identified in the LGBT community, it's literally an exponential graph. It doesn't even make mathematical sense. So the question is like, is this natural? Or is this being engineered, whether through media and content? I'm sure there's a part that plays. But then on top of that is like, is this spiritual? Is this not just something that's happening biologically with people, but is this spiritual? As soon as you said that, some people are going to manifest in the comments right now, whether they're dealing with it personally or they know somebody who's dealing with it personally. And the question they're going to be asking is this, like, are you saying that homosexuality is demonic and not biological? Like people who would say, I was born this way, they would advocate for that. What would you say to that argument?
Well, I say 2 things. I would say God, he has a remedy for if you say you're born that way, which is to be born again, right?
Facts.
Yeah, because there's a woman of God who actually talked about this, and I borrowed that from her because she said that she came out of the homosexual lifestyle too. And so the remedy for those who say, well, I was born that way, which you can be born again, right? And then God gives us a new nature, new DNA,
new heart,
a new heart, right? There are people who were born to say we were all born that, murderers,
fornicators,
all of that is in our sinful nature. We got that from Adam.
Yep.
Right. So every one of us are prone to that. Right. A person with a perversion spirit can easily go into pedophilia easily because
I can imagine that.
It's a trajectory. It's not hard to do once you understand how the spirit of perversion works.
Okay.
Right. And that's why I write about it so extensively, because the spirit of perversion is increased in this generation. The reason it's increased is because the guardrails that were up in previous generation, which is the church is no longer teaching on certain things.
Oh.
So there's no guardrails for this generation, right?
Oh man.
We were hearing teachings on holiness. We were hearing teachings on the church had an impact on culture, right? There was more of an impact that the church had on culture. Now we've lost our impact. And so now the world is defining to us what sexuality is. And we've been told as ministers to stay out of that because that's political. But it's not. The subject of homosexuality is not a political subject. The politicians can't hijack sexuality from the church. It's in the Bible. God came up with sexuality.
Yeah, that's a good word, man. That's a really good word, because people will say, well, who are you to say that, a man can't marry a man and 2 married, same-sex people can't adopt a child? It's like all of a sudden we're rewriting God's definition for morality, for marriage, for the family unit. It's like, and so you're right. The world is hijacking an entire framework that God invented. It wasn't man-made.
And the family, And I want to address that the born again thing, because I have a lot of people I know that's very popular.
Yep.
So what I said is been born again, but then you also have to get to a place where you love God enough that we're not trying to get people free so they can marry somebody else. This, like, the goal is not to marry, is to get, like, say there's a person that has never, that, like, I had a guy that wrote me, he said he came out of homosexuality, but he was not in bisexuality. It might have been a little bit easier for me because I always have been attracted to women. So there are people, though, that you will bring out of that lifestyle who never had an attraction to a woman. So the goal is not to get them to be attracted to a woman. The goal is to get them attracted to Jesus.
If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch another video like it, you can just click right over here. Or if you want to see my other channel, Directed Life, full-length interviews and really deep conversations, you can click over here.